People jumping in. Just to walk through what the agenda looks like, we're going to have an update from Dale Donovan, our commercial rep. We're going to get an update from Mike, our regional tech guy. I'm going to talk a little bit about our gross and net and reasons that we're going to, hopefully time permits, we're going to talk about reasons why team leaders don't succeed in the role. And then we're going to bring in Ashley for some housekeeping items. Are you guys good with that?
Yes, sir.
Sounds good.
Dale, are you ready to go?
I am ready.
Okay, the floor is yours. Dale Donovan.
Hi, everybody. For those of
Oh,
you that don't know me, I'm Dale Donovan B. I am the regional ambassador for the commercial for North Florida. I've been with KW Commercial since 2010. So, and I've been in the industry for over 34 years. I started when I was 3. But so, one of the reasons I'm here today is we've got a commercial summit coming up next week that's in Orlando. So if I've got some of your people that are coming, we've got some of the commercial agents from all over the state that are coming at the statewide event. It's at the Aura headquarters in Orlando on Thursday night reception and Friday. So we've got Joe Williams is our headline speaker, the co-founder for Kate Keller Williams. We have Buddy Norman, who is the founding president of KW Commercial, and we have the current president, Cynthia Lee of KW Commercial. So we have all the experts with us at this event. So, and we have about 100 of our agents of the 200 of KW Commercial that are coming to this event. I know some of you are coming also, some of the team leaders. Thank you for your support. And I wanted to show you a little bit about if anybody still has the opportunity to come, we are still taking reservations and registration. So this is how you get your ticket. We're going to drop this link into the website. That's Joe Williams and Buddy Norman, who are 2 of it. We have a wonderful event on Thursday night, a reception. We have an all-day event on Friday. It ends at 4 o'clock on Friday. So if that's your busy day, like everybody was saying, you can still have the opportunity to get work done too. But we feel that this is a really great opportunity to mingle, get to know some of the commercial folks if you want to refer, or if you're in commercial, it's a great way to get to know some of the experts and get to know what's going on in Florida and around the nation. So I hope you can be there and join us. It's a very reasonable event as far as pricing is concerned, and good food and good people. So come if you get a chance. The other thing I want to tell you about is Commercial Bridge. This was a program that KWRI came to me and said, we have so many residential agents that are interested in getting together or getting into commercial or doing commercial, and we're missing the opportunity because they don't know what to do or how to get into it or how to either blend it into their business if they want to get into it full time or if they just want to make a referral. So can you help us do that? And so we created this program at that request because how many of you have residential agents right now that are either attempting to do commercial or have commercial opportunities? Quite a few of you. So this is built specifically for those and for you. I had the team leader saying, thank you for this. I'm so tired of answering questions to the residential agents about what's going on in the commercial world. So this is the program that we have. It answers those questions that they have, how to get into it, how to refer to it, what happens if I just want to do residential and I want to do a commercial deal now and then, how do I do that? So this answers those questions. It's 8 weeks long, 8 sessions long, and it's extremely reasonable. It's $279 for 2 months, per month. So I'm sure you probably have at least 1 or 2 agents that are asking these questions. So use this QR code. We're going to drop a link into here that is the website, so you can take a look at that as well. This is for residential agents that want to do business in commercial, that want to blend their business from residential into commercial, that want to seriously get into it, or if they just want to refer. So I am the instructor for it and supporting all of you and making sure that I make your life easier and that we can be more profitable by bringing those commercial deals and not lose them. So if you have any questions, I'll throw my phone number and my email into the chat box, and I'll be glad to help you. Anything that's to do with commercial in your agents or on this program. So thank you so much. I appreciate it, Ashley and Ray. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. Hope this is going to be helpful.
Thank you, Dale. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Dale. I appreciate it. I'll have to unshare. There we go. Okay, now we're going to move over to Mike, our regional tech trainer. I believe Mike has a few things that he wants to share. Mike, you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Go for it.
I am meeting, well, I'm asking for meetings with each of the team leaders and OPs. Multiple reasons why. I don't want to be just a regional tech trainer who just trains on tools. I want to know what's going on in your market center, figure out where the points of friction are with technology, with systems, with training and help be the answer for that. But in order to get to that, I need to ask the questions. So that's what the 15-minute flexible the link that I just put in there, just a 15-minute conversation just to get to know you, your needs, and your market center.
That's it, Mike.
Well, that's what I wanted to start with. I don't know if you want me to mention anything else, Ray.
Well, if you have anything else you'd like to share, please go for it. Or gang, if you have any questions for Mike over the next couple minutes or so, please feel free.
Mike, did you say that there's a schedule we can access and choose a time and date where the 15-minute conversation takes place?
Yep, I just put it in the chat. It's right above Dale's
Gotcha. Yep.
information there.
Guys, I'll
So if
also
you,
include Mike's link in the email once I get the recording from Zoom. I'll include the flyer from Dale as well as Mike's link all together so you guys can look at it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Of course.
Liliana, thanks for saying that about the mastermind yesterday. If you had an MCTT that got to go to the mastermind, they got a lot out of it. Ask them, ask them their takeaways from it. Lot of incredible minds in that room. Uh, Great privilege to kind of lead that conversation. We talked about family reunion takeaways, and then we talked about how we as tech trainers in our space can help with recruiting in regards to technology. How can we showcase what agents are looking for in tech? That's kind of where we started with our masterminds, and we've got a number of topics that we're going to keep going with. But yeah, it was great to hear from those who could make it, and looking forward to the next one.
Awesome. 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 Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Before we move forward, I do want to take a moment to highlight a few people from the month of February who did double-digit gross, and that starts with Orlando Central, Lisa Hill. Lisa Hill did 10 or more gross in the month of February. Orlando North also did 10 or more. Candace did 10 or more over at Tallahassee. Dallas 10 or more, and Liliana, of course, in Lake Nona. So, congratulations for crushing February. And as we know, February can be a tough month with family reunion and the awards. And so, what I'd like for you all to do, if you don't mind, Candace, what did you do to get ahead of February? And what I mean by that, you know you're going to have a short month. And so what did you do in December or January to get ahead and ensure that you hit your numbers for February?
Yeah, so we really put a push. It was really at the end of December. We did not hit our net goal for 2025, and we knew that that was going to happen. So I really pushed the team on being more purposeful about hitting their appointments. In addition to that, we have my DAS who's amazing. But I put her all in on G5, so she does all the K-score I mean, she's a beast at it. And so she's really ramped that up. So we've been able to kind of fill that funnel with some of those newly licensed people going through K-Score. So it was just a lot of that. And then, of course, for myself, just increasing appointments. And we've been seeing quite a lot of agent movement in the beginning of the year. So I'm curious to see what will happen in quarter two because all we're slammed right now. And so, but I've been having some really, really good appointments. And it's honestly like, so this is my fifth year in the role. It's kind of like selling real estate, right? Like when you first get started, you have to do the activities really, you have to push and push and push and practice and practice and practice. And obviously, you have to continue to do that. But something that I've noticed recently, and I don't know, Liliana, you might actually be experiencing a bit of the same thing, but like my phone is just ringing a lot more
Mm,
Yeah.
with my agents saying, like, my referral funnel is really thick from my agents.
mm.
And just now, people just call me. I mean, I had an appointment yesterday. This $7 million producer just walked in the front door.
Mm.
So, I think that there's a lot of unsteadiness, and so people are really wanting to move. So, but that was it. Sorry, that was probably longer than you wanted me to talk.
No, no, that was really good. And in fact, there are a couple of things that I wrote down from what you said that I'll circle back to. Thank you for sharing, Candace. Liliana, what would you attribute February's success to from a growth standpoint?
So we do a lot of follow-up on the appointments that we have previously held. I dare say that we're more focused on that than on holding the new, on the new appointments, but we need those anyway. And so a lot of those in February came from appointments that we held in August, September, October, and that we have just kept following up with. The whole reason why we want to hit between 30 and 40 appointments is just that we can follow up on them. Our mindset is not these people are going to come today. It's this is a funnel and let's keep following up on them.
I'm so glad you said that because I'm going to be circling back to that follow-up system, right? That's a perfect segue. So, gang, if you can kind of bookmark that in your minds, I'm definitely going to be circling back to that. Lisa, is there anything you'd like to add to that? Your success in February with gross?
Yeah, we have a great follow-up system because when I get the new DBPR, the new licensees, we automatically put them on a smart plan. And so they're getting, emails from us constantly. I reach out to all of them by phone, text, I send them video messages from me. And so I think that, it's all in the follow-up. And, even the people that you don't connect with on the phone, you'll find I have a link that I send them to my calendar and they just go on and start scheduling appointments. So I think that, it's the appointments and the follow-up and just kind of making it easier for them to access me.
Oh, that easy is good. If you don't mind me asking, the video messages, what are you saying in those messages?
I have two different videos that I send out. The one,
And this is
first
going
one
via text? Is this going text?
yes, it's via text. The first one that I send out is the people that are eligible to take the exam. And so I congratulate them on taking this step and I would love the opportunity to come and speak, to have you come in so we can talk about the opportunities that we have here. I get a lot of appointments from that. The second one is for the new licensees. And then I go in a little bit more. Now we're ready to start your career. How are we going to do that? Come in and see me. We have opportunities here that we can make it happen for you. So I think the videos and the feedback that I get once they come in to see me, they love the video. It's like, so I make sure that every single person gets that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, my challenge to you all is again, you'll hear me say this a million times. Who do we have to become to make that double digit a consistent thing? Oftentimes and you guys said it, well, Candace said it, it's the at bats. In most cases, we're probably just not talking to enough people. right? And in some other cases, maybe we don't have the right people around us. And that can be a conversation too, right? Having the right people around you and making sure they're sitting in the right seats. And I can't tell you that's more than half the battle. Is that fair? Net, we've got a few people who've been doing a really good job with net agent count over the last maybe 6 to 9 months. And I'm gonna put you on the spot, Carla. But you guys have been doing a really good job with your net agent count. What would you attribute that success to?
Well, first of all, God, I told you that. Hallelujah. And then second, it's a team effort always. And we've got, some mega teams in our office that are growing and they're being really proactive in hiring for their teams. We're also hitting the new licensee list really hard. And we went really heavy with our momentum in 2025 and we didn't pull the throttle back ending the year. So that built up going into 2026 and we're seeing those results now.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Joe, where are you? Joe, your net numbers are looking good. What would you attribute that to?
Well, we got to get more in than go out, so that helps. But also, I think our retention, really working hard as a team to take care of our agents and looking to see when people are coming off their cap and making sure we're having meetings with them and just really kind of paying attention to the uh, upping the level of care. And that's really what we're about to have a little staff retreat, and that's what we're going to focus on is our hospitality and our office care at a really high level. But it's totally the team,
Yeah.
people taking care of our folks and getting them in the office and having great team meetings and great culture and having some fun. It's the whole package. So I'd love to tell you that it's my winsome personality, but really it's the team around me that's making that happen.
Joe, you said a mouthful right there, and really you nailed it, right? It is the touch points, it is the training calendar, it is the environment, it is the culture. As much as we talk about gross, as I shared with you in our last call, when we close that back door, being one of the top regions, that becomes fairly easy. Because looking at our gross numbers, we're not in a bad spot. We're not in a bad spot. I feel like we finished February somewhere around 67% of our goal. Can that be higher? Of course. But the opportunity is really closing that back door. Hiring 8 or 9 or 10 and losing 6, 7 or 8. That's really not growth. Tim,
Um,
you guys have been doing. I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
well, I was just say one more thing. I think one of the things that I've seen coming out of last year, going into this year, is really paying attention to the people you haven't seen, especially young agents. If they're winning and you're not talking to them, you're going to lose them.
Yeah.
And it's what we talk about all the time in the absence of value. It's all about money. And so we've been tracking and doing exit interviews and kind of listening to the folks that are leaving. And that's the common theme. If you're not looking 3 months out at who's coming off cap and who's producing and who you hadn't seen in a while, you're going to lose them. It's not even an option. So we have to broaden our net to having conversations with people we haven't seen or be okay that they're not going to be here. It's really your two choices.
Yep. No, I appreciate that. Thank you, Joe, for sharing that. Tim, talk to me, man. Tell me something good. You guys have been doing pretty good with closing that back door.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I would say not much different than what a lot of the stuff that Joe just said. But we finally have a really good team here. We had gone through a lot of staff turnover over the last year, and November of last year, we finally got a new tech trainer in place. We got a couple new directors of communications, first impressions, and getting them trained up more than just that. They are very involved with our agents, checking in with them. The care calls are important because it's like Joe said, reminding them that you're coming off cap soon, but also getting to know them on a personal basis. We mid last year, I think we're only seeing about 4 or 5 agents in the market centers or the different business centers per day. And now we're seeing something like 15 to 20 in the market center every single day, even if we don't have training classes going on. So also just getting the agents connected to each other, forming relationships inside the office has been important for us. So
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Tim, thank you. I'll be seeing you guys soon. I think, what, next week or week after?
next Wednesday, yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Yeah. So I think the question is from the outside looking in, who do we have to become to lead market centers where agents never want to leave? What are those variables? And if we know the training calendar is one, right? What else do you take away from this as far as a variable that goes into closing that back door? And that's a question if you want to unmute yourself.
I think it's a lot of loving on them, right? Like we call it the love strategy. And we lose agents, because we're a large market center, so we're gonna lose them anyway. And we're happy that we've only lost 3 this month. And it's the 15th, right? Or close to. But it's loving on them. It's the little things with the agents in the office, right? It's the phone call. How are you doing? How can I help you? Let me invite you to this training. Like every time I call an agent that is not a top 20 and I'm inviting them to some training, they will show up. And they appreciate the call, and the celebration is a big thing for them. And it's just the little things.
I love that you hit it right on the head.
I was going to say too, it's just the relationships.
Yeah.
It's how many people can, not just outside agents, but it's important for the team leader, obviously, and also the staff to just be in relationship with the agents, like to know about their lives, even to understand what's going on in their lives. If there is something going on and they maybe haven't shared it, but someone else maybe, kind of shared it, calling them, checking on them, making sure that they're okay. I mean, walking their dog if you need to, like all the things that they need to just be whole people.
So,
and I wanna add one more thing. Sorry, Ray.
Go. Good.
My market center is coming. I've been in the role for almost 2 years now. In May, it'll be 2 years in the office, and we have been coming from a narrative of the team leader only cares about recruiting. And I think a lot of market centers suffer from that a little bit. So I'm constantly in this narrative of you're the most important thing. I will take a call from my agents in a recruiting appointment so that the recruit understands that my priority is my agents. Yeah. And that's a big deal. And they know that they are our priority, not just bringing people for the sake of bringing people. And I'm not going to bring a recruit in and then forget about them, right? Absolutely. And they become part of the love strategy.
No, that's a big one. And going back to what Candace, thank you, Liliana. Going back to what Candace shared, I was having a conversation with Katie and Russell earlier this morning. And one of the things that we have to remember is that that's another person that we're working with. So make sure you're speaking to the person as well as the agent, if that makes sense. Just entering a conversation with how are you and how are your family, you would be surprised at the amount of trust that builds, and how easily, someone lowers their guards. Because that's going to make people or allow them to feel like you care about them as a person, more so than their production or how many listing appointments they have or what their GCI is. Asking them how they're doing as a person, and we got to make sure we remember to tap into that. Everybody good with that? Anything else we want to share around retention?
I would just add that that is a kind of like what everyone's already saying too, but that is a team sport, right? So I was at church over the weekend, and we were one of our pastors, our lead pastor, is retiring and going to work for the cabinet for the state, and that's fantastic. And we all felt deeply connected to her, and I just had that aha moment of, well, I feel connected to her, but really it's through the other ministries I'm a part of, where I'm able to feel Jen through the other ministries. So I thought about that in the sense of, what other small groups can we create within the market center where even though it might not always be Sean or the MCA or MCTT, but they feel connected to us through the other leaders in the office. So I think it's also figuring out ways to empower our agents, right? Church is all volunteer, but right, so empowering our agents and other leaders in the market center, ALC, activating them to start carrying some of those relationships too.
Yeah, I love that. Love it. I would say one of the areas where we were winning is making sure we were leaning into the event side of the business. In particular, events for our top producers, right? Exclusive masterminds, top producer masterminds, and using those opportunities as a funnel. And what I mean by that is we were incentivizing our top producers to bring another capper to those top producer masterminds, right? And we would set up a funnel. We would have a QR code for them to scan. That would go right into my funnel. My agent service coordinator would use that to reach out to them and set up appointments, right? So leaning into events, in particular, leaning into events with your top producers. Top producers love exclusive stuff, right? Handwritten notes, something that arrives in the mail. You're exclusively invited to XYZ. They love that stuff, right? Shiny objects. They love it. Love it, love it, love it. T.O., I see you. I owe you a phone call, man. We'll connect this afternoon. So, gang, this time goes so fast. I want to share my screen, and I want to share with you something that my coach shared with me, and I believe he had this conversation at family reunion. And so if you've seen this already, just bear with me and endure it. And if not, let's have a conversation about it because I think that there's some value in it. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Hey, Ray, who's your coach? You
Brian
may have already
Martin.
said that.
Brian
Okay.
Martin. So what he shared is reasons why agents fail. And of course, I tweaked it a little bit, but I felt like the same ideas apply to team leaders. And the top reasons that team leaders fail or don't succeed in the role. And the first one that we have is they don't close. And so I see Hope on the call, and I'm going to come to you first, Hope. When you see they don't close, what does that mean to you when you see team leaders don't close?
I just want to say to everybody on the call, I apologize for not having my camera on today. I thought I could be in a bunch of places at the same time today, so my calendar really is a mess. So I just want to apologize first and foremost for not being on camera today.
I feel like you took the long way to say you got your radio face today. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, to some extent. But no, I'm in the office. I just am not. Anyway, it's a long story. So that being said, I think they don't close because for some reason they're nervous about asking for the sale. I think that team leaders today have not heard the statement that I was raised on inside of the company, which is you are, as a team leader, the biggest mega agent in any geographic area. And so if your energy shows up like you are, a $60,000 a year employee, there's a shift that needs to happen there. You are the number one mega agent in any area. You know your trends, you know your numbers, you can talk business. And so I think it gets lost sometimes, almost like we're coming with our hat in our hand. Like we kind of want to be in business with you. I mean, let us know what you think, or if you decide, or, I think there's something to be said for just being bold enough to say you're a top producer and we're a top company. And what does it look like for us to be in business today?
I love that.
And having the energy and realizing you are, as a team leader, you're in sales. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but you're in sales. We're all in sales. And you are the rainmaker of that market center. You are the one who is tasked with, and by nature of being hired for the position, it is believed that you are the number one salesperson in that area.
Yep.
And you're there to close the sale. You're there to champion everything that's been said on this call around the value proposition and what you do to retain agents and make agents feel warm and you know, "Ooh, I love it. I want to be there." Yes to all of that. Yes to every bit of that. And we never get away from the fact that we actually are tasked with growing the office, and you don't grow it unless you're willing to ask for the sale and be okay being told no and coming back the next week or the next month or the next quarter or next year, staying underfoot with them.
Oh, man, I love it. Anyone want to add anything to that? They don't close.
Well, I think we just gotta have swag around
Oh my
that we
God,
are
listen.
the best thing on the block, you know?
Yeah.
And I think once we and if you don't believe that, you gotta believe it, because we know those one things in sales is that they don't need to believe you, but they need to believe that you believe you.
Oh,
And
so good, Ryan. Yes.
and you know, I was 15 minutes late to this because I was just having coffee as I'm dripping along a new producer that I want here, because she's got awesome social media. And so,
Mm.
yeah, I'm gassing her up, but I'm also pointing out that there's big holes in her plan of being at a boutique brokerage because she don't have national exposure. And I'm like, we're the best thing since sliced bread.
That's right.
And I'm not afraid to talk about our value in that. Yeah, we're more expensive, but it's worth it.
That's right.
So I think it's just having the conviction that when you understand these other models, and recently, Dayton, and I, we've been in conversation with top producers who are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to their brokerage, and they are not getting the value there. And you know, we had a conversation yesterday. I'm like, what's that look like over 5 years? Is what you're getting worth $500,000?
Mm.
And you know it's not. And it's like I'm looking at this person like, I know we can help you. I believe it. And she felt that. And she went from not thinking she was going to be that interested to where we already have a follow-up for Tuesday next week. She's $50 million producer. So I think it just comes down to the belief.
You know what, Ryan, thank you for sharing. And I want to share with everyone. I had the opportunity last week to visit with Ryan and his team, and I sat in on a recruiting appointment, $100 million producer and her team. And Ryan, you crushed that, man. That was one of the best recruiting conversations I've seen or been a part of in a long time. So great job with that, man. Good job.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
You got it. The other thing that comes to mind as it relates to execution or they don't close is the time in between ideas, plans, and implementation, right? I think that we overthink a lot of things that have to do with our role. Sometimes we got to throw caution to the wind and just get into implementation and execution. And don't be scared of making a mistake. I'd rather see you screw up, fix that screw up, but do it really fast. Like we're going to make mistakes, but the timeline between ideas, plans, and implementation, sometimes that's too long, right? You got to speed up that process. And so, but moving into number two, low energy, lack of urgency. Liliana, I'm coming to you. What jumps out?
Because of my low energy?
Of course, right? Talk to me about low energy or lack of urgency.
Well, I unfortunately for my MCA, I do not suffer from that. She's always trying to like calm me down. And I feel like as team leaders, we set the temperature, right? So if I walk into the market center all down and I'm having a bad day or whatever, it doesn't like I immediately observe how everyone around me is going to have the same day that I'm going to have. And I'm very, very aware of that. And I believe that's a blessing and a curse because, life, right? Life is always going to life for all of us. And on my worst days, in my personal life, I still have to show up as if nothing is happening just because I care enough to do that for not just my leadership team, but for the people. We set that temperature. It is so important that we're walking into a market center daily, being our best selves, regardless of what's going on in our personal life. And that compartmentalizing is not easy.
Yeah. Liliana, you must have been reading my notes because what I have in my notes for number two, the team leader has to be the thermostat for the entire company. And I could not have stated that any better. And listen, we're not robots. There will be days where we don't feel it. And honestly, those were the days that I would jump off the interstate, bust a U-turn, and work from home. It's that important that we are the temperature or the thermostat for the entire company. That's urgent.
Yes.
Number 3, no value proposition. Candace, I'm coming to you. What are your thoughts around that?
Well, it's just like kind of like what you were just talking about. If you, and plays into number 2, but like if you don't have, you are the thermostat, right? So when it comes to value proposition as well, you are the thermostat for that. The leadership team plays off of what, how I feel about our company. And so, and that, I'm sorry, my words are getting jumbled, but like that shows up to other agents as well, right? When you're having a recruiting appointment and doing all of those things, if you don't have a value proposition, you're just puking KW onto them. And that's not what we're about. I mean, yes, we're KW, but I don't even want to talk to you about caps and splits and all of that stuff the first time we meet, because that's not important. What's important is the value that I'm going to bring to your business.
Yep. And again, my notes, why would I join you? Why should I stay with you? When we get really clear on those 2 questions, why would I join you if I'm an agent, top producer, mega? Why would I join you? Why should I stay with you? When we can get really clear on those answers, that's when we're best positioned to win the attraction race.
Well, and I think if you're a team leader and you go into a recruiting appointment or anything like that, and all you talk about is money, then you're not providing any value to your agents, because it's not really about that.
Love that. I'm coming back to the OG Hope for number 4, avoiding conflict.
Yes. I think that by nature of our personality profiles, like as leaders, as team leaders, even if we are a high D, that trailing letter is the I. So if you are a DI or an ID, especially if you are an ID, conflict is not enjoyable, right? And so we want to look good and be right. We want to be liked by those who we are there to lead and to influence. And so avoiding the conflict, you begin to just let things go. You begin to just sweep things under the rug. You just let somebody else deal with it, kind of push it off to somebody else because they can, I can focus on other things. So the conflict is where you grow as a leader. Like when you choose conflict, when you say, okay, man, I got to have a fierce conversation, it's acknowledging that you are the one that has to have it or needs to have it or needs to lead it. And it forces you to show up in a different manner. The avoiding conflict is where you get distance. You kind of disconnect from what you're really, really doing. You kind of disconnect from continuing to grow as a person, and you can disconnect from the level of responsibility that you as the team leader really have in that market center. And so because conflict is challenging, right? I think we automatically hear conflict as a negative thing. And I would say conflict, this again, I have so many of these phrases in my head, but the conversation is the relationship. So the fierce conversation that needs to be had either with an agent or maybe even a leadership member, it strengthens your ability to continue to lead and continue to influence and continue to grow that relationship. Now there's a good way to do that. And there's a wrong way to do that. And I can tell you right now, I know there's a wrong way because I've done it wrong. And some of my I'll just say biggest and most embarrassing leadership failures on my journey here have been around the conflict conversations and whether or not I maybe had them in the best way, or I let my emotions get in front of me. I didn't prepare for the conversation. You know, it was a emotional one instead of a logical one. And there's a framework for what those conversations need to look like. But avoiding the conflict is really where you're choosing almost to stay where you are as a leader and not press through that E to P moment. And I would just challenge anybody here just to embrace it, do it better than I've done it for sure, and make it your own. People need to know that you care about them and you deepen those relationships when you have the conflict. Does that make sense? I mean, anybody that's married or has a spouse of a long amount of time. I mean, my husband and I have been together for almost 28 years. We've been married 27 years this fall, very similar to you and your wife, Ray. And now I can say he and I have had we've had less than 10, probably less than 5 really like, man, that got out of hand quick, right? So we don't live in conflict in any way, shape, or form. And just because we had conflict didn't mean that the relationship was fractured, right? So that's, I think, as a team leader, when you're working with people, you just have to remember that, like, it's okay to have it and it needs to be said. Don't let a seed form without being addressed.
Yeah, I love that. What I have in my notes is you got to charge all storms.
Yep. I like what Candace just said. It builds the trust.
Yep.
It says, I see you. I care about you. Yep. You know, I had a fierce conversation with a team member 1 week ago today. And I said, you know, I need you to know that the reason I'm having it is because I'm choosing you to be on the team. You want to be here. I want you to be here. And I got to say some things, because we both said that we would say things to each other when I got here 4 months ago. So now I got to say something. And if I didn't care, I wouldn't have the conversation. If I didn't care, I'd just let it fester. I would just let it go. And then I would just let whatever happened happen. So I do think it's just, you got to have it. And it takes time to get comfortable having it. But I would tell you to press in and sharpen that tool.
And when you delay it, first of all, everyone can see it. All of the other agents can see it. The leadership team can see it. And when you avoid it, you also lose respect in the building.
Correct.
So you gotta charge those storms. You gotta charge into those tough conversations. And the quicker you get through it, the better off everyone will be.
Yes, 100%. And you're modeling it, right? Like, as the team leader, you are modeling the behavior that we are preaching and we're teaching, right? You're helping other agents understand what it looks like to set that up, what it looks like to, when it needs to be addressed, when you step in and you're the one that addresses it, whatever it is, that's building your influence and it's doubling down on the leadership you have in that office, right? And how other people see you in that space. And I think that's important. I think that gets lost sometimes.
Yep. Love that. Thank you, Hope.
Yeah, for sure.
Count on you.
Of course.
Follow-up system. Liliana, why is that so important for you and your business?
Well, because for me, it's easier to convert someone that I've already known than a cold person that I haven't, right? For us, it's important to know that we care, because we understand that our competition doesn't. And we keep hearing that over and over. So when we're reaching out, it's just reminding them, we care about you, we're thinking of you, right? And we kind of phrase it that way. Hey, we were thinking of you and we just came across this article. We're thinking of you, please come to our team meeting on Wednesday. We have the Orange County property appraiser, blah, 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 blah. And follow up is everything. The fortune is right there. That's the model.
Yep.
Right? I mean, we run the circles on page 137.
You know what? Gosh, that's good. What comes to mind for me is the team leaders who are making the most money have the best follow-up systems, right? And hiring top producers, hiring mega agents, that starts with having a relationship in place first.
Yeah, we got to earn that.
You got to earn that.
Yeah.
You got to earn that. Okay, number 6, Candace, I'm coming back to you. We had a brief conversation. You shared a brief conversation earlier on, and what stood out to me was the at-bats. Talk to us about activities being too low.
So we all know that running a market center, you get a lot of gotta minutes. Let me come tell you about my dogs, whatever, blah, all the things that we love to do because we love our people and we want to help them and we want to talk to them and we want them to love us. But one of the things that my OP specifically and I have been working on is the activities, making sure that the leadership team, the growth team is hitting their numbers and working in their 20% is so important because it's so easy to get caught up in the rest. And last week we had our agent awards ceremony and I was preparing for that and I looked up literally, y'all, and it was Thursday. And I was like, how has this whole week completely gone by? And I'm low on appointments. So I had to double down this week, which is fine. And I did. But you have got to do, just like we tell our agents, you have to lead generate. You have to go on appointments or you'll be broke.
You won't have a role. Like we could be straight. This is a safe space, y'all. We could be like honest. You won't have a job if you're not setting appointments and closing and your gross is not where it needs to be. You just won't, right? And so it's all connected to the at-bats or the appointments. It just is, right? Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
Yep. Is this conversation helpful?
It's been a great conversation today.
Awesome.
Okay, good. Gang, you can also use this in a team meeting because it applies for your agents as well. You know what? I just thought about something. I want to circle back real quick to something that Candace just shared. All right, this is a safe space. I know we got one OP on the call, but this is a safe space. This has to be, gang, there are going to always be a lot of fires in your building, right? It was to a point for me, I can walk in the building, I could see a fire in the left corner, I could see a fire straight ahead, I could see a fire in the right corner. And you know what? I would keep walking past all 3 of them because not all fires require my attention.
Yep.
You know you have the right people around you when you don't have to stop what you're doing to put out every single fire. Is that fair?
Extremely.
Yes.
That may have been a mic drop moment.
Well, I just want to add something to that though, if I can. What you said is so true and also was really hard for me for a really long time.
Same.
I felt like I needed to be involved in every decision that was made, and it really, I look back and I'm like, well, I was just putting too much pressure on myself. And honestly, I'm sure my people hated it because they probably felt like I was micromanaging them to some degree. I don't need to do that. There are some things that I don't even need to know about. If you tell me on a Friday that something happened on a Tuesday and I'm like, oh, I'm glad you guys worked that out. Great. That's
That's huge, Candace. And this is what I believe. As a team leader, your biggest question is going to be who?
Always.
Right? It's going to be who?
Hey, Ray.
Go for it.
I think that's also important from a TL's position to make sure that your leadership team is singing out of a hymnal and they're not doing karaoke, right? So that's why our communication is so important, is that we don't want our MCA or our agent services or our DOFI giving their interpretation of, right, a solution or a situation, or even the 6 personal perspectives or MREA, right? I hear people all the time giving their interpretation of the meaning of something, which would be different than me. So it's my job as the TLA, we're self-regulated and self-accountable usually, but you can rest assured and walk past those fires when you're confident that your people are singing out of the hymnal and not doing karaoke, their interpretation of the song, right? And that's something that we really work real hard on. And I think our team, our agents are responding well to that because they're getting consistency then, right? You don't have the favorites, you don't have the pets, you don't, hey, I'm going to go ask mom instead of dad. So I think that, part of that communication piece there is important for all of those slides that you had, right? We've got to have that, and that karaoke versus hymnal thing is important. That's kind of we look to be productive, not busy in that, no pun intended, on that aspect of our communication, right? We don't have to have big words and lots of them. We have to have the right ones. And if we're all singing the right ones, then I can walk by that fire knowing that it's going to get completely put out, not just snuffed.
I thought I had the mic drop. Wayne just popped out of left field and crushed everything. I love that. Thank you. Thank you, Wayne. And listen, I would be remiss if I didn't circle back in regards to net. Suzanne, you guys have been doing a great job with your net as well. Is there anything you would like to add to the net conversation? You're on mute.
I think everybody said the same exact thing. It's a team thing. And so if you don't have your care call list and a round robin, each member of the team calling them and congratulating them on things that matter. And believe it or not, things, even high Ds that say recognition doesn't matter, it does. It 100% does. So just hugging on everybody for sure.
You better believe it. Thank you.
Can I share something? I
Please.
jumped on a little later, but I just want to say
That'll
I
be
shared it in my ALC.
$59.95, Caroline. $59.95 for being late. I'm kidding.
Well, the one thing that I've learned, it's kind of hit me last month, was we had a taco truck for agent appreciation. And it's kind of like all this is all coming together because I had so many people come up to me and they were like, this is a great event. Of course, everyone's invited to come. And I had a part of it. And it was the best fill-in ever. I get to point at my team. Like, I didn't even really know it. I got to show up, and that was the first event ever that I just showed up for. And literally when people would come to me, I'm like, it is my people. Like, it takes a village. Like, I literally showed up, and it was awesome to be able to see all the things and my little crazies and the things that I know that I really need, and my micromanaging to be able to step back and make sure all of my systems are in place with my NCA's help, and to see, it was better than the way I would have done it. You know what I mean? So it was amazing to say and see and be a part of. So
I love that.
It was a really good aha.
Love it. Okay, gang, I'm going to bring in Ashley. She has a few things that she wants to share. And then, Ash, once you're done, if you could close us out, that would be amazing.
Okay, awesome. All right, guys, so just a few things that I wanted to make sure you knew about, kind of open up the floor if anybody has any questions. So the first thing is everybody should have received, if you have an agent in the top 100 in the region, you should have received an email list from me of who we show as our top 100. And the reason we send this out is because reports are sometimes funky, clerical errors, whatever. We just want to make sure that your people are recognized at the highest level. So that's why we send that list to you. And then also, you might have had a big recruit that just signed up. Their production's not showing up yet. We also want to invite them. So please take a look at that list. If everything's fine with it, you don't need a reply. It's just more about who is missing, or maybe somebody unfortunately left KW and we don't want them on that list. So make sure you guys take a look at that and let me know if any changes need to be made on that. For our first one, we have, and it was included in the email, but March 27th, we have a top 100 mastermind, and we have Lauren Lucas coming. It's going to be a really, really great mastermind. We're really looking forward to it. So make sure that those people on your list have marked that date. Prior to you receiving that email, they have already gotten to save the date. They already know about it. This is just a follow-up and also confirming the list. So a couple of you, I've received back confirmation that the list is good, and a couple of you had like, hey, add this person, they're newly to our market center or whatever. So make sure that you reply back to me, and I'll be sure to get that taken care of. And if you have any questions on it, please reach out. Secondly, I want to make sure that everybody knows about Breakthrough 120. And we have another session, I believe today at 1 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. We have another session. This would be session 2 for the Breakthrough 120. I will send out a reminder in just a few. but I want to make sure everybody knew about that. And I went into a lot of detail on the call, the MCA call, to reiterate and shared with them to go back to you guys to make sure that everybody is on these calls to understand how these calls are intended to be led. There's a lot of great information. The one that was earlier this week, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he did an amazing job of running through how to run this play. And this is very important for you guys to understand this from a perspective of before you, I'm going to say, hand it over to an ALC member or somebody else who may or may not be teaching it in the future. You guys have to understand it first. The sessions are recorded. They're on command. So if you guys missed it, but I would highly suggest that you attend the live sessions. It is in webinar format, but they do have somebody that's monitoring the chat, and you'll be able to ask live questions. They are creating a frequently asked questions if they aren't able to get to it, because there are a lot of questions, but highly encourage you guys to not only attend the actual session, but attend it together in the room. MCA, team leader, any other staff that might be included in that, just as a suggestion for you guys. I want to make sure everybody knew about that. Cultural ambassadors. I sent out an email to make sure everybody is selecting their cultural ambassadors. Those are due towards the end of the month. So if you haven't already replied back to me with that person, please be sure to do that as soon as possible. Keller Williams usually asks for the names towards the middle of April, late April. So I want to make sure that once those come in, we are ready to go and able to send our cultural ambassadors regional wise to KW when they ask for them. Excuse me. And then lastly, I want to take a moment and talk about the weekly recognition that we've been doing for the top market centers with appointments, gross and net. Appointments has been a little funky, and some people are showing like, I don't know, 100 plus for the month or something. So I know that's inaccurate. Mike is working with KW to figure out what's going on, but we do know that the gross and net is true. So I've been sharing that with you guys. If just to let you guys know, we pull that information early in the morning and then we send out the recognition. So sometimes when we're gathering the reports, by the time we send it out, some activities could have conspired and you could have more gross or less net or whatever. Just know we pull it that morning. If you ever want to confirm with me your gross or net or whatever it might be, I can 100% verify what we have on the report just to make you feel comfortable, but 9 times out of 10, that's what happens. And then also just want to take another step here and remind you guys to please, I know there's a situation with appointments in command, but make sure you are recording them because we are seeing several at 0 or very low appointments. And in those situations, we know that there's been more. So make sure that you're recording those. And if you need any help to make sure you're doing it right, I know Mike would be happy to help you, to show you that, to make sure that those are being recorded the right way. Liliana had brought up to me the other day, which is a factual point, is sometimes you can have an appointment, you put it in a certain stage, and then you actually hire that person that same day. So sometimes in some cases, that appointment doesn't get recorded. And I get it, and I'm sorry, but I don't really have any control over that. I can only go over what's in the data. That doesn't always happen, but I understand that it can. Because I understand if you guys have somebody in that you're recording an appointment and that day they want to sign up, it may or may not be recorded. The way Liliana explained it is sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So as wonderful as command is, we're still working through some situations, but just know that we want to celebrate you guys and thank you guys for all you're doing. You're all doing an amazing job. And we just want to keep a good pulse on this and celebrate the wins as they come along. So anybody have any questions on the 4 quick topics that I talked about? Awesome. Well, you know how to reach me if you do, if something comes up later. We're a little after 12. Appreciate you guys staying on the call. Have an awesome weekend. Thanks for all you do. For those of you coming to Commercial Summit next week, see you there. And I'll send out a recap of this call as soon as the recording's available. Have a great weekend, guys.
Let's finish the week strong, gang. Let's go.
Oh. Bye-bye.
Bye.